Hey, fourth grade, it's Miss Reader here to talk to you guys about our first reading story. So, our first story is going to be an expository text, which we talked about last week. Expository meaning it's a nonfiction piece telling you information about a certain topic. So, this topic is going to be about earthquakes, if you can't tell by our title here. So, what you guys are going to do this week is you are going to do a lot of activities with this story. It starts on page 10 of your reading book. That is the big textbook. It's green and it's got a hardback cover. So on page 10, you will find this story. If you would like the story to read to you, you can also log on to Wonders, our Wonders website, and you can click read and it will bring up the story to you and it can help you read. But I would like you guys to try to read it out of the textbook. So while we are reading this, I want you guys to be aware of a couple things. So while we're reading, we need to focus on the text features that are in this story. So as we flip through the pages, we can see we've got pictures, we've got maps, we've got some captions, we've got headings, we've got bold print, highlighted print, all things that we talked about that are text features. So as you're going through the story, make sure you're checking out those text features and making note of them. So also, as you guys read, I want you to make note of any comparing and contrasting that this story does. So I know that it is mainly about earthquakes, but it also talks about tsunamis, which happen because of earthquakes. And then it also gives you some ways to prepare for an earthquake. So you can kind of compare and contrast what you should do based on where you live. Also, compare and contrast how tsunamis are different compared to an earthquake on land. As you read, I'm going to have you guys have this tab open. So this is your reading workbook response questions. So this is actually in your workbook, but I made it easier for you guys to do it on here so that you wouldn't have to take pictures of your workbook and turn them in. So as you read, I want you to have this assignment open, like I said, so that you can make sure that you are following along and going with it. So we're going to go over this first. So this first page, page 14, is going to have you look at the photographs in the story, which are a text feature, and see how they help you understand the story better. So the question here is, how does the author use photographs to help you understand what it's like to live through an earthquake? So you are going to reread page 11. You will reread page 11 and then look at the picture. So it says use evidence from the text to explain how the photographs help you understand the text. So showing the picture, which is on page 11, how does that help you understand what it's like to live through an earthquake? So you're going to write the photograph clues, so what you see in the picture, and then you're going to write text evidence that shows you, helps you understand that photograph. So when I say text evidence, you need to look for actual sentences from the text and then use them to go along with the picture. You're going to need 2 photograph clues and then text evidence for each. So there's going to be 1 photograph clue here and the text evidence, and another photograph here and then the text evidence. So remember, you are trying to look, how does the photograph help you understand what the text says? So how does this photograph, which it'll be in your book on page 11, help you understand what the text is talking about? And then at the bottom, you're going to finish this sentence. The author uses a photograph to help me understand earthquakes by doing what? Why are they using that photograph to show you information? The next page that you guys are going to do is you're going to look at page 13 as you're reading. And it talks about Dr. Cifuentes, and she describes what it's like to live through an earthquake. So using her words that she used to describe an earthquake, you're going to find text evidence. So find something she said about the earthquake and then you're going to write what you learned because of that. So over here, you can see this quick tip. You can use these sentence starters when you talk about a firsthand account. So some words Dr. Cifuentes uses are, that could be here. This description helps me picture what? So her description helps me see that earthquakes don't last a long time. They're pretty quick, or something along that. Um, along that. So then at the bottom, after you write 3 different sentences with her describing the earthquake, then you would answer this question. Dr. Cifuentes' account helps me understand what? So how does Dr. Cifuentes telling you about her experience with earthquake help you understand earthquakes? That's what you're going to write here. So you've got your description, what you learned, and then wrap it all up and tell me how that helps you. The next page is you're going to read the section Tsunami Terror, and you're going to see why you think that tsunami terror is a good heading for that section. So you need to find words or phrases that tell me why tsunami terror is a good heading for that section. Remember, headings are supposed to tell you what that whole paragraph is going to be about. So you're going to find words or phrases in tsunami terror that help correlate it to the title. So showing that that is a good title for it. And then here, you're going to just answer the question. Tsunami terror is a good heading because, and tell me why. Remember, for all of these, you need to have complete sentences. The very last thing that you're going to do is you're going to respond to the reading. So it says, this question says, how does the author use text features to help you understand how earthquakes affect people? So we talked about text features yesterday. You need to make sure that you look at the text features, as I told you earlier, and seeing how do those text features actually help you understand earthquakes. So without them, what would you not know? So you're going to write at least a couple sentences here. It does give you a quick tip of sentence starters to help you. So give us a couple sentences why you think that text features will help us understand. So the next thing that you guys are going to do, this is when you read earthquakes for the first time, but tomorrow you are going to do the story questions for this story. So what you do when we do story questions, you answer the questions to the best of your ability using text evidence and also using complete sentences. That is restating your question. So let's read number 1 and kind of go through that one together. Reread the section entitled A Shifting Planet. So that's one of the sections from earthquakes. How is Earth's crust like a puzzle? So you would need to restate your question by saying Earth's crust is like a puzzle because, and give me your reason. You are going to find these reasons from the text evidence. So you could say because ... and then how you know this. So on page 13, just throwing out an example, it says, and then tell me how you know. So that is just a first example of how to restate and then how to use text evidence. So you're going to answer all 6 questions with complete sentences. You may have to use more than one sentence, and that's okay. That's what we want. We want it to be as detailed as possible so that we know that you understand what you have been reading. So first question, we already went through that. Second question, what are faults? Use text evidence to explain and support your answer. Again, you got to make sure that you're using sentences from the story. Make an inference, which means make an opinion or what you think based on text that you've read. How would the ability to protect earthquakes benefit people? So how would it help people to be able to predict an earthquake? Number 4, in the section Planning for Earthquakes, we learned that earthquakes not only destroy but create. What can earthquakes create? So you would need to restate your questions. Earthquakes can create, and tell me what you found and what page. Why do you think the author wrote this article about earthquakes? So in your opinion, why do you think that this article was written in the first place? And then number 6, name 3 things you learned about earthquake safety. You're not just going to list them. You're not just going to say, make a plan. No, you need to write out sentences saying, one thing I learned about earthquake safety is ... and then tell me 3 things that you learned. So those are your 2 assignments that are going to go along with earthquakes. I'm going to go back to the page. Make sure if you have any questions, you are asking us. If you have some words that you're not sure how to say them, it's best maybe you read this with a adult or with a sibling so that you guys can help each other. Or like I said, if you wanted to get on the Wonders website and read this or have it read to you, you would just click on the little speaker there and it will read the book to you. Also, last thing, make sure you're focusing on our essential question, how do people respond to natural disasters, and seeing how this book goes along with that essential question. If you guys have any questions or anything at all, let us know. Good luck, 4th grade.